Raining in light, suffering. Suffering, pain, distress, hardship, trouble, strain, trauma, discomfort, anguish, agony, and more. Suffering can be both external and internal, and at the same time. We can suffer alone, we can suffer together, we can suffer in silence and in the dark, and we can suffer loudly and in the light. Suffering can be physical, mental, emotional, psychological, and perhaps the worst of all, spiritual. There can be a combination of these types, a mixture of them, or a complete culmination of all of them. Suffering and being human, we will see it, we will hear it, and we will feel it. Suffering is an experience we'll have to grow through, and with the understanding that we must not sentence ourselves to it. Sometimes suffering makes us weak, and other times it makes us strong. Some are convinced that there are 8 definite sufferings of life: birth, old age, sickness, death, being apart from loved ones, being with those we despise, not getting our wants, and suffering of the body. Suffering of the body is the sensations of it, perceptions of it, mental formations of it, and our consciousness being empty. As humans, we have the ability to suffer through ignorance. We suffer through our very own actions. We suffer through our consciousness due to the inability or unwillingness to transform it. We suffer through cravings and or the unwillingness to let go. Some may say that a cause for suffering is because our world is imperfect. And here we'll say that even in an imperfect world, and with us being perfectly imperfect, we can most definitely challenge suffering. We challenge suffering with acceptance. We test our reality. We check ourselves. This implies that we either snap out of it or snap into it. We choose to join ourselves or leave ourselves behind. We remain open with an open mind and an open heart and an open spirit. We remove judgment of ourselves and definitely of others. And most importantly, we stay present. The best way to stay present is to breathe, of course, and in the moment. Reminder to breathe with intention and with purpose. Deep breaths in, slow breaths out. Relax and gently close your eyes. We'll dream here for a while. We'll dream and while awake. In this dream, all is calm. We are calm. The wind and all of the elements are still. Deep breaths in, slow breaths out. There is no war. There's only love. Food is abundant. and so is shelter. No one is in pain. Everyone is wearing a smile. The trees are green and evergreen, and the sky is blue, a crystal blue. Deep breaths in, slow breaths out. In this dream, we are living our purpose. In this dream, we know that we are enough. Deep breaths in, slow breaths out. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. We dream when we are sleeping, and sometimes even when we cannot recall the dream. What if, and while we're awake, we enjoy the liberty of dreaming, and especially if it grants us peace or allows us to develop a plan to work towards it? While that dream was pretty lofty, peace starts inside of every individual. And if we are dreaming the same dream, perhaps it will make the chances even higher that that dream will come true. Dream big, dream bold, and to get through suffering. Suffering, some of it is unfortunately necessary, and only so that we may know and truly understand joy. Recall the need for balance, the yin and the yang, dark and light, wet and dry. Joy is not possible without suffering, or at least the full experience of joy as it pertains to our spirit. Suffering leaves us with the ability to shift our entire focus from external to internal. Suffering is another topic where we do not receive complete answers always. Answers like, why do babies suffer? Why do bad people never appear to suffer? Why does one person have all of the money and others are so poor? Again, we must somehow have trust, hope, and faith, and believe that there is something more grand, that there is something greater than all that we've ever known out there. For this, we must continue to walk on our journey. As we walk, we step with grace, we step with love, and remembering all the while that we may cross paths with someone who is suffering. Yes, some who are suffering may have made a choice, or they may have not learned that they can move from it. And sometimes suffering is something outside of our hands, outside of our mind and our heart. With suffering and all of the unanswered questions we may have, we must convince ourselves to be the change that we wish to see of the world. Here we experience faith and hope once again. Suffering is such a big topic and must be open to conversation and for discussion. If suffering in our lifetime is inevitable, what could be worse? Could the fear of suffering cause more agony? The fear of suffering, and in the absence of it, is similar to all other fears. The anxiety, the rumination, the induced stress, the startled responses, they're all torture. Some may say that humanity is broken. If this is true, we certainly do not have to follow suit. Within a broken humanity, we are subject to the encounters with and of it. We will not break ourselves, even when humanity attempts to do so. We will remain whole. Not only is our spirit dependent upon this, but so is the spirit of our loved ones. Using our spirit as the answer to most of life's turmoil. Once we acknowledge our space and within the greater space, we will tend to our need to love, and in love, we will find faith, we will find virtue, we will find beauty, we will find hope. When our spirit is able to fulfill these needs, we move from suffering. As we move into the present, we move into so much more. We welcome impermanence and the fact that life is ever changing. Our desires move with us. We are no longer solely guided by our ego. Being guided by our spirit allows us to transcend and release control on the hold that we believe that we have on the world. Once we free our hands, we free the power of the weights, and in turn, we are gifted the power of our spirit. This power is everlasting, and even with all of the destruction of the world, the spirit is what remains indestructible. With our spirit, we become greater than our suffering. Greatness is you in this moment. Greatness is reigning in light. For more information about reigning in light or this topic, please visit reigningin light.org and send an email.